Hello and welcome to the March installment of Community Focus, presented by the Friends of MCTV. I'm your host, John McPeak. Every month the program features news about upcoming activities in the greater Midland area. This month our guests include folks from the Midland County ESA, the Chippewa Nature Center, Shelter House, and Dow Gardens. Joining us today to lead off our program is Don Johnson, the Career and Technical Education Coordinator with Midland County Educational Service Agency, or ESA. Welcome to Community Focus.
Thanks, John.
Don, could you give us a brief overview of ESA, what it is, what it does?
The Midland County ESA is an ISD by any other name. So if you're familiar with that kind of terminology, we're the county school district, and we're in place to serve the local school districts, students, parents, and staff. So we do various things across tying the local school districts together, and our vision is that that all children in Midland County reach their potential.
Well, how does your department, Career and Technical Education, how does your department achieve your goals?
We have a number of programs and services that we provide to students and to schools in Midland County. We connect academic learning to careers, hard skills and soft skills, or critical skills. We intentionally bring those in. We also do a lot of career development activities, career development events such as career fairs, job shadows, career exploration, lots of things to help kids understand what their next step will be coming out of high school, whatever that'll be. What we want to do is support kids in doing whatever it is that makes sense for them, whether it be to enter employment, enter college, or additional training. So we have all these events. We have career fairs, and Reality Store is another event that we do.
Well, tell us more about the Reality Stores.
The Reality Store is part of a career development system. We have a whole series of events that we have interconnected for students through middle school through high school. It's available for all 8th and 11th graders. And essentially what it is we bring the game of life, if you think about the board game of life that we all played as kids, to life for kids in their school so that they have that experience to walk through that.
Now, what happens during the day of the Reality Store event?
So what happens, well, let me start with before the event.
Sure.
Our staff goes into the school and prepares students. They do career exploration, find a career that fits them, that they think that they might interest them. They do some exploration. They determine the educational requirements for that career and the starting salary for that career. So that all happens up ahead of this with our staff, and then the day of the event they come in, and that exploration is the basis for the event. They come into the gym and they have their career, they have a family situation, they may be married, they may not be married, they may have children, they may not have children, so they have their life situation. They come into the gym and they walk through what I will call a month of paying bills, like you or I do every single month. And at each station they make choices. They have to buy a car, so they have a car payment, and there are a number of different options, new, used, etc. So they pay the tax man, they pay their student loans based on the career that they picked. So if it's a career that requires a 2-year degree, they'll pay that type of a student loan payment. If it requires a 4-year degree, they'll pay that. If it requires no further education, they won't have a student loan payment. So they go through all of those stations: food, clothing, transportation, housing. Do I rent a house? Do I buy a house? And those discussions take place at every station throughout the whole event.
And then after the day, you have a follow-up, a post-event?
Yes, to reinforce what they've learned and to look at what their next step will be. When you think about it, if I go through an event like that and I learn something, the next thing we want them to do is take the next step. What is that? This career made sense to me, now I want to do some more exploration. This career, maybe it doesn't fit what I want to do, so maybe I need to step back and start and look at something else. So we always try with everything that we do to have a next step so that they continue down either the path they think they're going down, or they back up and try another path.
Now, it would seem that the day of must require a lot of staffing. Do you do that all internally, or do you need volunteers?
We have 2 employees that work the event, and the rest is volunteers. So we recruit probably 25 volunteers from the community for every one of the 9. We put 9 reality stores on per school year, so about 1 a month across the school year.
And what kind of background or training do each of these volunteers have?
You really don't need any training. We do a little up front before the event, right before the event, immediately before the event. We'll do a little bit of a 15-minute kind of introduction to it. But when you think about the things that, and the discussions that volunteers are having with students, they're the kind of thing that you do every month. You look at, okay, what's my heating bill look like? And it's interesting to listen to some of those conversations with students in 8th grade and 11th grade and see how they change. Or, you know, would it be better to buy a used car for a little bit lower price and get by, or do you need to, those are the kind of things that happen. And so essentially anybody, most adults do these kind of things every day in their lives, so it doesn't take any special training, although sometimes it's kind of neat to have an insurance agent staff the insurance table, or a real estate agent staff the housing table, and have a little bit different conversation with kids sometimes.
Sure. So you need a number of volunteers, and if a potential volunteer wants to do this, how can they contact you to sign up or to get more information?
They could email me at djohnson@midlandesa.org, or my phone number is area code 989-631-5891, extension 232. And either way, they could contact me. We'd send them some information, and then we have an online link to sign up, because there are a lot of dates, and we staff in half-day increments, so someone could pick a morning or an afternoon or a specific school that they wanted to work at. Any of those kind of options exist.
Excellent. Well, Don, thank you for appearing on Community Focus and bringing us that information on the Reality Store project of the Midland County Educational Service Agency. Our next guest is from the Chippewa Nature Center with information on their annual Maple Syrup Day. We covered everything. Now happy.
With the MCTV network, you can share your story through television, online video, social media, and podcasts. Since 1984, MCTV has provided public access to television for the people and organizations of Midland. This hasn't changed. However, there are many other ways for you to reach your audience wherever they are and whenever they want. Call 837-3474 for details. Follow us on Facebook and search for MCTV Community Voices on YouTube or podcast platforms for more local stories. Join us to build a better community through media at MCTV.